Hello everyone. I hope you all are safe and fine. This is Chand Kaur, Assistant Professor, RPIIT Technical and Medical Campus, Karnal. In the previous video, we discussed about types of hypertension and role of DASH diet. In today's video, we will discuss about antihypertensive drugs. So what are hypertensives? Hypertensives are a class of drugs that are used to treat high BP. Hypertensive therapy seeks to prevent the complications of high BP such as stroke and myocardial infarctions. There are many classes of drugs which can be called as antihypertensive agents. These are diuretics, adrenergic receptor antagonists, benzodiazepines, calcium channel blockers, renin inhibitors, ACE inhibitors, angiotensin 2 receptor antagonists, aldosterone receptor antagonists, vasodilators, and many others. So let's discuss about diuretics first. Diuretics again can be classified into many classes. So thiazide diuretics, the example is hydrochlorothiazide. Loop diuretics, example is furosemide, whereas spironolactone is an example of potassium sparing diuretics. Now let's discuss how do these diuretics act on kidney to reduce high BP. They act on kidney, they remove more sodium and water from total water content of our body, they relax blood vessel walls, and this is the way they lower high BP. Now let's talk about thiazide diuretics. They are recommended as the first line of treatment for high BP. They are usually recommended as one of at least two medicines to control high BP. Loop diuretics are prescribed for patients who have complications like heart failure, kidney problems, and edema. Now let's talk about how do these loop diuretics act. They act by inhibiting sodium potassium chloride symporter in thick ascending loop of Henle. This is how these diuretics inhibit the reabsorption of sodium chloride ions as well as potassium ions. So what is spironolactone? Spironolactone is potassium sparing diuretic. It is mild diuretic in nature. Its diuretic effect is very weak, but it can be used as a supplement with thiazide diuretics and loop diuretics because both classes of diuretics they cause the depletion of potassium ions by causing its excretion through kidney. So we can add spironolactone as a potassium sparing diuretics. Let's talk about the side effects of diuretics. The effects of loop diuretics are such as hypokalemia. Other side effects are like diarrhea, dryness of mouth, and headache, whereas thiazide diuretics cause orthostatic hypotension and other serious side effects. The next class of drugs after diuretics are adrenergic blockers. So it can be classified as beta blockers, alpha blockers, and mixed blockers. Mixed blockers means the drugs which block both alpha and beta receptors. So the drugs which comes under the class of beta blockers are atenolol and metoprolol. Alpha blockers, pyrazosine and trazosine. Mixed alpha and beta blockers like labetalol. So let's talk about how does labetalol act. It acts by stimulation of beta receptor within myocardium as well as by stimulation of alpha receptor within the vascular smooth muscles. It decreases systemic arterial blood pressure and vascular resistance. Beta blockers, they inhibit the effect of epinephrine and non-epinephrine. They act by the class of GPCR, G protein coupled receptor. They decreases heart rate, calcium entry, and into the myocytes. Myocytes are the cells of myocardium of heart. Now the next class of drugs are calcium channel blockers. So the examples are amlodipine, nifedipine, diltiazem. They act by blocking the entry of calcium into muscles cells in artery walls. Diltiazem is a calcium channel blocker. It is a potent vasodilator. its actions are negative inotropic, negative chronotropic, and negative dromotropic. Renin inhibitors. These are the drugs which inhibit the binding of renin to angiotensinogen. So, the conversion of angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1 and 2 is inhibited. So, angiotensin 2 is the main culprit which increases the BP. This is how renin inhibitors act. The next class of drugs are ACE inhibitors. ACE stands for angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. They block the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Example of drugs are captopril, enalapril, and ramipril. So they lower arterial resistance, they increase venous capacity, they decrease cardiac output, and they increase the excretion of sodium in urine. Whereas the main culprit we were talking about is angiotensin 2. It stimulates the retention of sodium and water by causing the excretion of aldosterone hormone, as well as it causes the release of vasopressin. So patient will feel more thirst and will consume more and more water. Ultimately, the level of or water, or you may say blood volume, will increase, and increased blood volume will cause high BP. So we use ACE inhibitor drugs like captopril, enalapril, and ramipril to inhibit ACE enzyme which converts angiotensin 1 into angiotensin 2. So this is the way ACE inhibitors act. So there are some side effects of ACE inhibitors like diarrhea, headache, joint pain, fever and chills, trouble breathing, jaundice. Angiotensin 2 receptor blockers. Instead of using ACE inhibitors, we can also use angiotensin 2 receptor blockers because there is a side effect, that is dry cough, which is associated with ACE inhibitors, whereas this is not associated with angiotensin 2 blockers. So our main objective was to block angiotensin 2. So the drugs which act by blocking angiotensin 2 are losartan, valsartan, telmisartan. Fine. So these drugs, they reduce the secretion of vasopressin. Also, they reduce the effect of aldosterone in the retention of sodium and water. Ultimately, the blood volume will decrease, and this is what we require to reduce the BP. So the last class of drug we are going to talk about are vasodilators. They act directly on smooth muscles of arteries to relax their walls, so blood can move more easily through them. Only used in hypertensive emergencies. Thanks for watching.